I can't do this. It's too stupid. I can't do this intro.
Hey, DreamWorks, Comcast, Universal Studios, Skybound Studios, Studio Mir, Voltron, Kipo, Batman, Prompt Designer, Background Painter, Visual Development, Storyboard Revisionist, Storyboard Artist, Storyboard Supervisor, Character Designer. Boom! I'm only 5 years into this. I'm just getting started, alright? I ain't no joke, baby. Yeah, buddy, I ain't no joke. Boom! Okay, I got a lot to do today, but I'm taking out some time to talk to you little babies, show you what's what. You infant little babies, alright? Let's go. Let's go.
Alright, in case you haven't heard, this ain't no baby Polly Pocket Barbie show, alright, that we're doing. Alright, we're talking about making the big girl, the big boy bills, talking about getting a job. Alright, if you want to go watch a little fancy video of people doing little fancy character designs just for willy-nilly, alright? But plenty of people got videos like that out there. Oh god. But I don't hear nobody spitting any truth. Somebody spit some truth right in your little freaking baby face. You see these guns? Yeah, that's from hard work. That's all it takes, baby. Doesn't take no fancy brush. Doesn't. All right, we're getting off track. All right, one example is Ross Tran. All right, he's got a character design video he put out a few months ago. You can go check that out. It's cool. All right, it's a stepping stone. Okay, he's making a pretty picture. He's talking pretty words, and that's cool. Okay, if you want to shoot for that, you go shoot for that. I'm talking about working your way up, getting a job, and being poor. Not in that order necessarily. Alright, I know for these videos I'm talking fast, alright? I'm putting a lot of information out there. The reason I'm talking fast, the reason I'm talking loud, I've got a job to do. After this, I'm back to it. There are things that I want to get off my chest, there are things that I want to dive into. This is my outlet. By doing this, by diving into these studies that I'm doing, alright, I'm learning. That's a lesson in itself, alright? If you want to learn something deeper and understand it more, go and try to teach it. By trying to teach it, you're going to try to break it down and understand it yourself, and you learn more that way. Again, I'm going off on a tangent. Alright, I'm going to start talking about how to get a job as a character designer. Before I go into that, I'm going to talk just a little bit about the industry. Okay, I'll say it right now, 2019, the industry, animation industry, the entertainment industry, it's exploding right now. We've hit a new level of entertainment. The only reason I'm saying this is that a lot of people don't think that they can get a job in animation or get a job in entertainment. Right now is one of the best times to do it. Okay, you feel like you can't get a job in entertainment? We need all hands on deck right now. Okay, and that's coming from somebody who's in the industry. What I'm telling you is kind of going against me. I'm trying to get more people in the industry. That will essentially take jobs away from me. But, you know, sharing is caring, you know? Okay, that's all I really wanted to say. It's not a far stretch to shoot for animation or for entertainment. It's very quickly becoming a reliable and reasonable job to get. As for pay, not every studio is the exact same, but it's going to be roughly around $1,000 a week. Okay, now that can fluctuate massively depending on where you are. That's just an average of what I've experienced. And I live in California, and also that's before taxes. So, anyway, moving on. Boom! Okay, here's our talking points. Alright, I grew up as a little poor baby, okay, in a poor family. So I'm going to try to tell you how to do this the cheap way. So I'm going to talk about character design, getting a job in character design, and I'm going to be talking about character interaction by taking a look at this piece right here. Okay, I want you guys to pay attention to this because this is my last video that I'm making. In my other videos, I talk about working your way up the ladder in animation. I also say that it's not the only way that you can get into the industry, get where you want. But what we're going to be talking about is working your way up the ladder. Okay, and a standard disclaimer that I put on my videos is that this doesn't necessarily apply to the people who are like prodigies. This doesn't apply to people who spent roughly 4 years in art design college, and then after school they just walk right into the industry because their skills are on such a high level. Okay, we're not talking about those people. We're talking about being a little baby. Alright, becoming a character designer for animation. Step 1, fundamentals. You're gonna hear it all over the place. Alright, I'm not gonna go too much into fundamentals. You know what they are, you just need to do the work. Alright, quit your little baby whining and go do the work of fundamentals. If you don't know what to do, take online classes. Okay, I talked about in another video, I went to CDA, Concept Design Academy in Pasadena. Basically the only class I ever needed there was the basic anatomy class with Kevin Chin. I took that class twice and it helped me so much. The fundamentals are so important. The fundamentals meaning breaking down real life people, figure drawing, that type of stuff. Okay, if you don't have the money for classes, online classes, if you don't have the money for CDA, which at one point I didn't have money to do that either. At that point, you just want to break down really good art that you enjoy. You need to break down photographs. All right, now let's fast forward and let's say you've already done all that. You've already gotten your fundamentals out of the way. You've got a basic understanding of it. We're gonna move from here. So the other half of getting a job in animation as a character designer, well, for getting a job in animation in general, you need to meet people. Okay, this industry is skill-based, but if you don't meet anybody face to face, if you don't interact with people, they're not gonna know that you exist on a personal level. They won't know if you're a nice person, if you're good to work with, if you're easygoing, if you're hardworking, okay? That's a big one. You can't get any better than meeting people in class, okay? That's how I got my first job. You meet people, you meet students, you meet teachers, and you interact and you build a kind of like a community together. You build relationships, all right? I have another video talking about that. Okay, let's say you can't meet people face to face. Last resort, you just send out emails. You hit up people's Instagrams. You try to get yourself out there and talk and have a conversation with somebody. Let them know where you're trying to go. Ask people for advice. Take the advice, show that you can improve from where they last saw your work. All right, but you can't beat person-to-person interaction, in-person interaction. It's very important. All right, and don't come crying to me about like, well, I live like 5 states away and I don't have any place to live and blah, blah, blah. When I came to California, I slept in a bush. There are kids in Africa who don't even have a bush. All right, and don't talk to me about not having any money, okay? This is America. You go get you a job, make a little bit of money. I mean, unless you're not in America, you know, then I don't know what you're gonna do. Step 2. All right, now let's say you're good enough, you're at that point to where you have a grasp on things, you're ready to be hired. Here's the bad news, most people right away, they don't get hired straight as character designers. Again, they're those prodigies that are just so good right out the gates. But if you're not one of those people, if you're like me and like other people that I've met in the industry who became character designers, you're going to want to work your way up through another job title. One of those titles is Storyboard Revisionist. Apply for character designing positions, yes, obviously, but in my experience, it's so much easier to be hired as a storyboard revisionist than it would be hired through, straight character designer. All right, now talk about storyboard revisions in another video. I'm not gonna repeat information, like I said, I don't care, I'm not gonna do it. All right, and like I explained in the other videos, is they're not looking for good painting skills. What they're looking for is good drawing skills. Okay, and this is something I should have cleared up earlier. This is for television, not for feature film just yet. People typically don't just jump straight into feature film. Again, you can if you're crazy good, but for most people they have to work their way up through television, which is now that's streaming services and television, and you work your way up through that to feature film. Okay, television as relative to feature films, television's quick jobs. They gotta have workers, they gotta have them fast, and they gotta be able to produce fast. So this isn't the stuff that we're describing here. It's not painting pretty characters. It's not the pretty stuff that you see online. That's the sad news of it, is that you have to work your way up to that. But you need to work your way up with good drawing skills. All right, you know what? I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna get you a little bit of learnt, get you turned. We're gonna go over just a little bit of drawing, this is how I would go about practicing for revisionist, practicing for character design, for animation and television. Let's go.